Hello there! In today's video, we are gonna work on this guitar that I'm holding right here. If you don't know, I built this guitar on the channel 2 years ago or something like that, and I am not in love with it, sadly to say. And today we're gonna set up the pickups on this guitar, and we are gonna talk about how to do that, and I'll show you my process for doing it. And then we'll see what it sounds like afterwards. So, the thing is, I find the pickups to be dull and muddy and sort of not having that crisps that I like. And I'm a single coil guy, but every now and then you want to have humbuckers for something, and so it's good to have a humbucker pickup in at least one guitar. And so I can turn these humbuckers into something that suits me a little bit better. And that's what I'm going to show you now. But first, this is what the guitar sounds like. Just some simple chords, so you get a before and after. We'll focus sound-wise, but I'll do what I do to both pickups. But sound-wise, we'll focus on the neck pickup. So right now I have the neck pickup, and this is what it sounds like. Yes, and the thing is, they're not bad pickups necessarily. They're not very interesting or expensive. This is an Epiphone, and it's Epiphone pickups in it, but there's nothing really necessarily bad with them. Now, one solution, which I know a lot of you probably have done, is to get new pickups. Buy something better, buy something nicer. But I think you should first try at least to set the pickups up, and then we can see if we need to switch them out. That way you're not really wasting potentially any money on pickups, and you might get what you want out of your pickups that you already have. So it's fairly simple, and we're going to jump into it now, and you're going to be amazed by how much you can change humbuckers with just a little bit of tweaking. So all you're basically gonna need is 2 screwdrivers, and I'll show you them right now. Okay, so I know I said 2 screwdrivers, but if you have a screwdriver set like I have, you can switch out the tip. And you need 1 screwdriver for these, because the height of the pickup is very important. Now, what I do, and what I think everyone should do when they come to setting up the height of your pickups, is not follow any guides or rules that someone else is telling you you should be following, something that you have to do or anything like that. No, what you should do is set the pickups so they are the same level at the top here as the pickguard, and then you play the guitar. And you play the guitar as softly as you're comfortable playing it, and as hard as you're comfortable playing it, basically mimicking the way you're actually gonna play it. And you do that, and then you raise the pickup slowly, 1/2 mil on each side, and you play the guitar again. And then you raise the pickups, or you stop, depending on what you think is good. And you do that, and you let it take the time it needs. This will go more quick than you think, but you let it take the time it needs. And eventually you'll find the height you need. And you can measure the distance to the string and copy it to your next pickup, and use that as a ballpark for where to set up your next pickup, because they're usually going to be somewhat close. Now, you can have different height on each side, which is more common than you might think. And I think going this way is probably the best way to do it. You don't have to. You can do the opposite, where you raise the pickup to max and go backwards, but I think most people are going to be surprised about how much they enjoy having their pickup pretty close to the body and not too close to the strings. So for the next thing we're going to do, we're going to adjust the pull pieces here. It's the ones that look like a screw, because they are a screw, on your pickup. And for that, you'll need a flat screwdriver, like the one I have here, something that fits. Make sure you find something that fits, because it's important that you can actually move in there and move them correctly. You're also going to need one of these gauges that are the same as your fretboard. This is a 12 because I have a 12 radius, so make sure you have one of these. Now, you can make one of these super easy. You can find pictures or templates online and print them out on paper and then cut them out on a piece of cardboard or something like that. So if you don't have these, don't think that you have to go and buy them immediately. I have these because I work on a lot of guitars. Now, this is what we're going to do with that information. We will take this measurement here and we'll push it in under the strings like this, and we'll move them up to the strings until they can sit on top of the two E strings, lowest and the highest string, like so. And I'm sorry if it's a little bit out of focus, but I think you can see what I'm doing. Now, if you look closely, which might be a little bit hard for you to do on the video, but you will see it very easily on your own guitar when you're looking closely. All the other screws on the pickup are millimeter or something around that away from the gauge, except for the two outer. And so what we're going to do is we're going to move this to the side just a tiny bit like this, and we're going to raise these pull pieces, and we'll just move them up until we think they are basically where they need to be. And this is just moving the pull pieces one turn or two turns. It's not much at all. Now, obviously, if you have a guitar with something like a 7 1/4 radius, then it will be a little bit different, because you're going to have to move them more because the radius is so much higher. But it should still only be a couple of turns. And so now I've done that, and I can tell that I need to raise them just a tiny bit more. And now I can put the gauge back in its place, and I can tell that I raised G just a little bit too much, and I raised the D a little bit too little. And there we go. And now the pickups are looking a lot more even and are matching the radius of the fretboard. This is something that you never see anyone talk about, but I promise you it will change the guitar. And I think you're gonna be surprised about how nice you actually think it sounds. So now I'm back. I've tuned the guitar again to make sure everything sounds the same, and we're playing on the neck pickup. So here we go. Yeah, so there you have it. I think it sounds a lot better now. I think I need to lower the entire pickup a little bit to compensate for the fact that the pull pieces are a little bit higher now. And if you think that the change wasn't enough, then you can start moving all of the pull pieces just one turn. So let me show you that real quick now. Here is the pickup right now. And then I take my screwdriver, I go into the first one, I turn one turn, I go to the next one, I turn it one turn, so that the lines meet up back where they were. The D string, give that one turn, and move over to the A, and I give that one good turn. And then I move over to the E, and give that one a good turn too. And now the pickup Should be brighter, have a little bit more attack, sound a little bit more alive, or at least that's how I feel about it, which is probably a buzzword I shouldn't use, but here it is anyway. So here's the guitar now, and I've lowered the pickup to compensate for the amount I raised the pole pieces. That's not something that you necessarily should do, but you should listen to the pickup and see if the change has occurred that you are not super happy with. And if you liked where the pickup was before, then you should move it back to compensate. And here's the way it sounds now that I feel like I'm done with this pickup and I'm happy about it. Obviously, if I do this to a more expensive pickup, then it will be even better. But at least I don't feel necessarily that I have to run out and buy a new pickup, because I'm getting a little bit more chime in it. And before I play, I just want to say one more thing, and that is, if you want to, you can also experimenting with hiring and lowering different pole pieces. For example, maybe some of you feel like the B is cutting a little bit too much. You can give that a little bit of a nudge down, just to cut it down a little bit and make it a little bit woolier in sound, like it was before, and chime up the other ones. So with that, here's the guitar now. Sorry. There you have it. That's the way it sounds now. And if you agree with me that it sounds better, I hope this helps. This is something that I think that everyone should experiment with and try out if they have a pickup they're not super happy with, or that they feel isn't exactly the way they want. You can think of it as having a little mini simplified EQ pedal in your pickup. And I don't see anyone ever talking about how important the pole pieces on your humbucker actually is. So I hope this helped. Let me know in the comments if it did, or if there is any other pickups that you think I should do a similar video of and show you how to set those up, because there is a lot of information out there about how to set up pickups, and pole pieces and things like that are not being discussed enough. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching, and yeah, until next time, stay awesome and cool, and go and set up the pickups on your guitar, because you're most likely watching this because you're not super happy with some humbucker you have somewhere. And so yeah, do that, and yeah, I'll hopefully see you in the next video.